Have you ever thought, what if Ash's companions reached their fullest potential in the anime? Like, what would their teams be if Pokemon never held back on their power level? Well, that got me thinking, what if I created the best possible team for each of Ash's travel companions in the Pokemon anime? Now, 18 different types for 18 different characters is a lot, and not every character has 6 Pokemon, so in order for me to complete each team, I'll just have to add a few extra Pokemon based on how good I think they fit the trainer's personality. Some of these teams turned out to be hideous and stupidly broken in the end, so I hope you enjoy me making each of Ash's companions' Pokemon teams. Starting off with the OG himself, Brock. The first Pokemon joining Brock's ultimate team is gonna be his Steelix, but it's not just a normal Steelix. His Steelix has access to Mega Evolution, which I'm accepting, becoming the ace of Brock's team. Secondly, I've selected his trusty Crobat, who is here as it's a 3rd stage OG random capture of Brock. Third is his Krogunk, and even though Krogunk is iconic, I'm actually gonna evolve it into Toxicroak to make him more powerful. For 4th, we got Sudowoodo, a Pokemon that looks like a grass type, but is actually a rock type. I learned that the hard way. 5th, Blissey. Weird to think Brock has this in the anime, but he did have his Doctor era, so it makes sense. 6th spot is going to Marshtomp, and you know how we do it here. He's evolving into Swampert. I think this team is pretty solid. We got a little bit of Steel, Ground, Rock, 2 Poison and Ground types. Oh, it's cooked. We're moving on to the next one. This next one just so happens to be Misty, Ash's 2nd travel companion. And the ace to start off her team is going to be Gyarados that can Mega Evolve, as it's definitely your best Pokemon. Sorry, Psyduck. For the 2nd spot, I am selecting Psyduck. Just gonna evolve you into Golduck. Come on, guys. I think it's time Psyduck finally evolves because as much as I love him, he's just not that good. Most of the time. 3rd is Misty Starmie, another OG and good battler, along with the 4th Pokemon Corsola, a rock and water type, which I think adds some diversity to Misty's all-water team, especially since the 5th one is her Azurill, a water fairy that I've evolved to Azumarill. Lastly, 6th is Misty's Togetic, the only non-water that of course I'm evolving into a Togekiss for the sake of making it greater. I like this team. Obviously, Misty's a water gym leader in both the anime and games, so it makes sense for her to not have many type options to choose from. Everyone's favorite, Tracey, is here, and for Tracey, I actually had to add some custom Pokemon to his team since, well, he never caught more than 3 Pokemon. Number 1, the captain of the team is Scyther, who's going straight to Scizor, and then let's add Mega Evolution as the cherry on top. 2nd, Marill, Tracey's favorite Pokemon that I've evolved into Azumarill. 3rd, the only 3rd stage mon he owns, Venomoth. Now the Pokemon I'm giving him is Tauros, as Tracey has always been seen around Oak's lab where Ash's 30 Tauros roam all day. And Tracey does take care of Ash's Pokemon, so what's stopping him from taking one of Ash's Tauros for his own? 5th is Smeargle. Smeargle can help draw with Tracey sketch it, so perfect match. Last but definitely least is Eevee, since it's a bland default Pokemon you give to normal guys like Tracey. This is his team. I basically just gave him a bunch of normal types since what else can you give Tracey? May is up, and we already know Blaziken is the ace of her team, and yes, it's getting Mega Blaziken. 2nd, Wartortle, but I'm not gonna evolve it into Blastoise since May is a contest performer and that would ruin Wartortle's uniqueness. 3rd is Glaceon, a solid Pokemon, pun intended, along with the 4th place May's Venusaur. Kinda crazy, May almost has 3 fully evolved starter Pokemon, that being fire, water, and grass types. 5th, Beautifly, an okay-ish Pokemon. Then finally, May Skitty, that, let's be honest, should have evolved into Delcatty, and I'm honored to be the one to do it. Boom. Great team, great type spread, kinda, and great all-around stuff from May. Her younger brother Max is up, and ooh, this one's low-key gonna be crazy, as Max doesn't own any Pokemon, so time to cook up something abysmal. For number 1, I went with Gallade, as Max's character is based off Wally from the games, where he owned a Gallade. So not only will Max have a Gallade, but make that a Mega since he needs a Mega. 2nd is Sceptile, as Max really admired Ash's Grovyle throughout the show, and it seems like he would benefit with this starter. Thirdly, we have Slacking. 4th is Flygon. He needs a Pokemon that he can fly around with, and one who's powerful. 5th, Azumarill. I know I've already included this one a bit already, however it fits well with his team's type diversity. His last, most powerful mon is Jirachi, really because in the Jirachi Wishmaker movie, this was the Pokemon he bonded the most with. Max's team is very strong. Not the best one here, as we're about to see some really good teams, but definitely not the weakest either. Now we're on Dawn from Sinnoh. Starting her team off is her starter, Piplup, whom I'm not evolving any further as, like May, she needs that cuteness for her contests. Second, her Baniri that I will evolve into Lopunny and give Lopunny access to Mega Evolutions since I think it'll balance the pretty with power. Third is Pachirisu, the cute little Sinnoh Squirrel Pikachu clone. Fourth is Mamoswine, probably Dawn's best battler that we've seen from all of her other Pokemon. Fifth is Dawn's Togekiss, another strong Pokemon who will be great for bringing that support to her team. Lastly, it's Quilava that I'm evolving into Typhlosion since it was pretty dumb and never evolved in the show. Dawn's team is structured very well in terms of types, just maybe not in terms of evolutions, as Piplup kinda be nerfing the whole team strength. In Unova, we got the Dragon Master herself, Iris, with the stacked team beginning with her Haxorus, one of, if not my favorite Pokemon of all time.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Second, being her Dragonite, that is already super strong, yet I have to give it Mega Dragonite. The new Mega is just amazing, and this would really show how far Iris has come, since originally her stubborn Dragonite didn't even listen to her. Third, you already know Excadrill keeping that type diversity, along with fourth, Emolga, her last official catch. The Pokemon I'm adding is Hydreigon. Iris the Dragon Master has to own the pseudo-legendary from her own region. Then, in the sixth spot, you might as well include Goodra. We basically have her team as a mix of dragons and other random catches. It's pretty good if you don't mind the typing. Ash's other companion from the Unova region, Cilan, is up sporting Simisage. Yes, I evolved Pansage as I think it's about time. Second is Stunfisk. Ash should have caught this dude honestly, but whatever. Third is his last official anime Pokemon, Crustle, a giant rock crab lobster thing. Fourth, for the Pokemon I'm giving him is Ferrothorn since he had one in the games. Fifth, Coffee Gregus because of that one episode where Cilan gets possessed by a Yaw mask. Lastly, my personal favorite, Skullvillain, a fire and grass type who now can Mega Evolve, so Cilan, you can have this guy. This team is decent, fits Cilan's personality for the most part I'd say, especially Skullvillain. Clemont the Great is here. His first Pokemon is Diggersby that we saw evolved in Journeys. Next is his Chespin that's evolving into Chestnut to gain access to the new Legend ZA Mega Evolution. Third spot goes to Luxray, a very powerful one at that. Fourth is Heliolisk, mostly used by Clembot, but he still owns it. And fifth, Magmaton, that I'm evolving into Magmazone. And yes, this could be his Mega. I kinda think it makes more sense he Mega evolves his starter instead. Lastly, this might be way out of left field, but I went with Aurorus, the fossil Pokemon, as both their colors match. Here's the team. My favorite is Heliolisk. I think it's a very underrated college Pokemon, but this team is overall kinda mid. Moving on to Clement's younger sister, Bonnie, a character who only has a Dedenne, and yes, I know Clement caught it, but eventually when Bonnie is old enough, she is going to own it herself. So second is Tyrantrum, as Bonnie loved that little Tyrant, and it just seems fitting she goes back to catch it when she's older. Third, we have Meowstic, male version, because of that one Haunted Mansion episode with Esper, along with fourth, Lapras, again from an episode where Bonnie hangs out with his Pokemon. Fifth is Ampharos, one I have a feeling Bonnie would catch, and it can Mega Evolve to add more power to her team. It's either this or Mega Greninja, but I can't see Bonnie having a Greninja over Ampharos. Six is by far the most broken, and that is Squishy, the Zygarde she traveled with throughout the entire XYZ series, forming an amazing bond together. Bonnie even commanded Zygarde to kill Lysander, so I think they make for a great pair.
Squishy, go for
No, not yet! Move! It's not over yet!
Guys, I know this seems like the best team so far, but just wait for the upcoming teams. They're gonna get crazy. Serena time. Any Serena fans in the chat? Her partner joining the team is Delphox, who we saw fully evolved in Journeys, and just like Chestnut, it's also getting its new Mega Delphox. Second spot is her Sylveon. Third is her Pancham, that again, I won't evolve even though I really want to, only it doesn't make sense. Serena needs a cute teddy bear, not a giant scary one for her contests. Fourth, for my choice is Altaria, an elegant strong dragon type, along with fifth, Milotic, another elegant Pokemon and popularly used in contests by people like Wallace. Then sixth spot is Meowstic, specifically the female version, as Serena, I feel, needs a cat Pokemon, and this one's just
Perfect.
That is her team. I like it. I think it's strong while sticking true to Serena's character. Sun and Moon, why do we have so many companions? Anyways, starting off with Lana's team, her first Mon is Primarina, her starter Pokemon. Second, and the only other Pokemon she captured is her Eevee, aka Sandy, that I'm choosing to evolve into Vaporeon because it's a water type. Third is Araquanid, as Lana's dream is to float around the ocean in a giant bubble, and Araquanid's literal ability is Water Bubble. Fourth is Kyogre. Just kidding, that's probably too OP, but I'll give her Wailord instead. Fifth, Relicanth, since while she's exploring the world in a giant bubble, she might bump into an ancient Relicanth. Sixth, Feraligatr, because I want her Mega to be Mega Feraligatr since it's the only water Mega I found fitting. In terms of a gym leader, Lana would be very powerful, just don't bring a grass or electric type, else she's screwed. Mallow is here, and if you've never watched the Sun and Moon anime, you're not gonna know who this is. Anyways, Serena is her only Pokemon. And no, not Ash's Serena, I'm talking about Serena. Following up with Oranguru, don't ask why. Third is Tauros, the Pokemon we meet her riding on. Fourth is Flygon, her actual ride Pokemon. Then fifth, Appleton, a food Pokemon because she works at a restaurant. Lastly, there's no shame in giving her Shaman, as she formerly had this Pokemon under her care for the end of the Alola series. And honestly, she could have caught it, but instead releases it because then she would become too OP for a side character. Mallow's squad is pretty much everywhere all at once. I think it's fantastic. Someone else who's fantastic is Kiawe, and the only Pokemon starting his team off is Turtonator, his most powerful Pokemon. Second is Charizard, who I'm gonna give him Mega Charizard Y, as he's not exactly a law on energy. Third, Kiawe's Alolan Marowak. It's pretty powerful. Fourth, the Pokemon I'm giving him is Magmortar, the volcano Pokemon perfectly suiting Kiawe for his outlandish rage moments. Fifth, I went with Salazzle, the fire poison Pokemon from Alola. And last but not least, Burnt Toast Tauros, aka Paldean Fire-type Tauros. Kiawe's team is very Kiawe, and that's what makes it great. But just like Lana, don't bring this man's team near an ocean. One of the more popular characters, Lillie, is finally here, bringing her Alolan Vulpix to the team that I'm evolving into Alolan Ninetales. Second, I'll give her an Eevee, as we can't not have a popular female character without an Eevee, and I'm evolving Eevee into Espeon, as that's the chill, laid-back Alolan vibe type of evolution. Third is Oricorio, Sensu style, since her butler Hobbs was shown off to have an Oricorio. Fourth, Alolan Raichu, because Ash's Pikachu was one of the first Pokemon Lillie touched. Fifth, Rimabi. I think this one suits Lillie's mannerisms. Sixth, we have the mythical Pokemon Magearna, as Lillie was seen working with this Pokemon to locate her dad during the end of Sun and Moon and in Journeys. This Pokemon can also be her Mega, as Mega Magearna is now a thing. This team's rating is a high 8 out of 10 for me, lots of type overlap though. Sophocles, the roly-poly, is here with his Togedemaru, and second is his Charjabug that's gonna evolve into Vikavolt. Third, I'm gonna give him the Alolan Golem, which the Alolan form makes Golem a rock electric type instead of the normal rock ground type. Fourth, Minior, since these guys have history. Fifth, Ampharos, the Pokemon he was seen working next to in Journeys. Then, for Sophocles' 6th place is Mega Metagross. Yes, it's gonna be Mega, and yes, it's mostly because his ride Pokemon was Metang. Sophocles' team is about what you'd expect. Lots of electric types. Chloe, the greatest female character if it were based off of terribleness. The one and only Pokemon she has is Eevee, that I'm actually gonna keep as an Eevee. Second is Yampa, her pet dog, that I think Chloe would eventually own and evolve into Boltund. Third, I also think Chloe would catch a Beautifly, as that suits her, along with in fourth, Delcatty, since she has a dog and now she has a cat to go with it. Speaking of animals, in fifth, I've given her the horse Pokemon Galarian Rapidash, one that she encountered during her travels as she met Galarian Ponyta while lost in an enchanted forest. Finally, let's give her Clefable, so she can have Mega Clefable as her Mega Pokemon. This was my best attempt at making Chloe's team. Hopefully, it's somewhat good. Okay, now we're on the most overpowered Ash companion of them all, Go. The reason he's the most OP is because Go's mission was to catch every Pokemon, and while he didn't catch them all, he caught some very powerful Pokemans, starting with Cinderace, his OG friend who went head to head with Mewtwo. Second, giant buff Magikarp that I'm evolving into the world's largest Gyarados. I'm not giving him Mega Evolution though, since in third, we have Go's giant Golurk who is also much larger than your average. This guy I am giving Mega Evolution to since it got access to Mega Evolution in Legends Yay, so we can now have a super giant Mega Golurk. Nobody's stopping this man's team, especially since his next 3 Pokemon only get better. 4th is Suicune. You know, just a legendary Pokemon go caught with a normal Pokeball in the first 50 episodes of Journeys. Nothing too crazy. 5th, Regieleki, his other legendary he caught alongside Gary during Project Mew. Last and 100% best is Eternatus that was so powerful, Go caught it, was sealed up in a lab, escaped during the Ash vs Leon fight, and now roams free somewhere waiting for Master Go to come and reclaim it. Like I said, this is the most broken powerful team by far. But yeah, this is basically Tobias 2.0, half normal Pokemon, half legendary Pokemon. And if you want to see what Ash's legendary Pokemon team would be, I actually already made it. You can click on the screen if you're interested, and I'll see you over there. Bye bye.